diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me Blaise Andries. He's an offensive lineman out of Minnesota Gophers. So nice to have you on, sir.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
So, Blaise, obviously a part of a great program there, for Minnesota. But I kind of want to get your background, if you don't mind. Tell me where you're from and how you ultimately got there to Minnesota.
Yeah, sure thing. So I grew up in Marshall, Minnesota, Southwest, about 3 hours over by South Dakota. Um, Grew up playing football, basketball, baseball. One of my teammates, actually multiple of my football teammates ended up going to play Division I football, whether that be at the FCS level or FBS level. We had a receiver go to the Gophers a year before me, Drew Himaleski. We had quarterback go to NDSU. I think it's a pretty common name right now, Trey Lance. He's at the 49ers. Defensive end, one of my best friends go to South Dakota State. Just all over the place. A lot of talents going through Marshall, and I was no different. So I had the huge recruiting trail. Going all over the Big Ten, Michigan State, Northwestern, Nebraska, Iowa, just visiting basically all those schools. And I actually committed to the Gophers pretty early on in my junior year. So that kind of cut short some of the other visits. I was planning on visiting Oklahoma and Florida and Oregon the next 3 weekends, but I actually committed to the Gophers because they kind of had the unfair advantage to where I got to really know the coaches and the players, and I felt really comfortable there. And Coach Fleck and Coach Callahan did an amazing job. And yeah, it was just awesome to play there the last 5 years.
Yeah, and kind of like I said, obviously part of a great program there, but even if we just kind of focus on your position group in general, I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like Minnesota has one of, if not the best offensive line in all of collegiate football. So talk to me a little bit about that offensive line group, if you don't mind, how you guys were able to gel
Uh,
so well.
yeah, well, first of all, we've all been playing together since I got there, really. And it was awesome. I got there and we had old heads like Jared Weiler take over and really take control of the group. And after about 2 years, he left, and it was me, Connor Olson, Sam Schluter, and Daniel Falalele starting like our freshman years. My redshirt freshman, Daniel's true freshman year, just playing together back then. And as the years went on, we added John Michael Schmitz and Curtis Dunlap Jr. and just a bunch of great guys. We loved being around each other, like whether it be in practice where we're working together or outside of practice on the weekend if we're all hanging out together or whatever. It was just always fun, always a fun time being around those guys. And yeah, this year we've got Daniel Falele and Sam Schluter in the draft class, and then Connor Olson's actually going to med school, so he's he just got accepted a couple weeks ago, which is awesome.
Cool.
And then next year, Schmitz decided to come back, so Schmitz is going to be one of the top center prospects in the nation next year. So it was honestly a stacked group, and we had a lot of fun dominating together.
Cool. I remember scouting Connor Olson and then finally finding out that he was going to stay another year. So, and obviously, kind of moving on from football and going into med school and that stuff. Good for him. And we also were able to have Sam Schluter at the Hula Bowl, which is fun. So got a chance to meet him and really get to know him more. So, but again, like I said, we're looking at probably one of the best offensive line groups in all of college football. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you. I'm just putting that out there because you're looking at some stellar talent from top to bottom. just solid overall. So let's go ahead and kind of refocus to you a little bit. Talk to me about you as a prospect. I want to say most of your starts have been like on the right side. Have they? Talk to me about like your, where you've started over the years.
Yeah, so this is a fun rabbit hole to go down. So my redshirt freshman year, I played, well, first of all, my redshirt year, I played all of right and left tackle, back and forth at tackles. Then they moved me inside for my redshirt year at the right guard. And so I played that entire year at right guard until the bowl game where our left tackle opted out. So they moved me over to left tackle then. And
Mm.
I'm comfortable with that. I had a month to prepare and whatnot. So did that, went well. And then 2019 came around and I played the entire year at left guard until the last game. Our right tackle got injured. And so I went to right tackle about a quarter into the 12th game. And then for the bowl game, I played right tackle as well. And then 2020 came around, COVID year, it was crazy. I played right tackle in 6 of the 7 games, and I played left guard in one when we had like everyone else. That game was a mess. But then 2021, this last year came around, and I played right guard, right tackle, and left tackle pretty regularly. Like each drive, I was flipping around with the personnel groupings and whatnot. So I just
So, I mean, I guess
choice.
suffice it to say, I mean, you could play almost anywhere on that offensive line. I don't think you'd have any starts at center, but I mean, like,
Mm.
when it comes to you, we're looking at a guy who can play right tackle, right guard, left guard, left tackle. Do you feel like that's the best thing going for you as a prospect? I mean, what do you think separates you from the pack?
Yeah, honestly, like my versatility and my intelligence are my two uh, greatest attributes, and along with my physicality. There's a funny story about the no starts at center though. Coach Callahan, we had a great relationship, and I love the guy. He's an amazing coach. But he would always joke with me. He's like, Blaise, you come back for that 6th year, I'll get you started at center. Like, and me, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, start all 5 positions. Like, that sounds like heaven to me. But I would regularly take snaps with the centers, go out before games, take snaps with them and whatnot, just to kind of be, the third string center, really, if we needed to, the emergency center. But yeah, back to the attributes, the versatility and intelligence. I mean, I was a math actuarial science major, so I wanted to work in statistics, actuarial science with insurance companies and whatnot, and calculate the risks and all that fun stuff.
Everything that you just said went completely over my head. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't even repeat what you just said without
yeah.
you saying it 100 times. But it's definitely interesting when we look at you as a prospect. I mean, again, a guy who has played all over. I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't necessarily want you to play center because you're a big dude, man. You're almost 6'7", 315 pounds. So I mean, I don't necessarily want a guy so tall there in the middle. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I mean, I would probably more so want you on the outside, at either end, really. But having the versatility to come inside and play guard, I mean, I think that that's really going to help you. I mean, um, give me just sort of a feel as to how you've developed over years. I mean, with you coming in as a as a freshman and then a redshirt freshman up until now, what's the biggest thing that you feel has changed?
Definitely the confidence over the years. I mean, coming in, it's a whole new game going from high school to college and then from college to NFL. But as I kind of grew up and realized, like, that, hey, I can not only play this game, but I can like dominate this game. It's just feeds into the confidence and when you're playing with confidence, you're playing with an edge and whatnot. And it's just been a ton of fun to, change your best each day and go out to the practice field and really get better, like that's what Coach Fleck talks about all the time, is going out there and just changing your best every day and getting like 1% better, right? So
Cool. I mean, obviously you've positioned yourself now where you have a lot of things going on. You were able to participate at the Combine, Shrine Bowl. You've had a lot going on right now. With interviews and scouts calling you up and stuff. How are you dealing with all this process, man?
you know, sometimes it can be stressful, but really, like in the grand scheme of things, taking a step back and being grateful for the opportunity that you have, because there'd be a million people in the world that would want to have this opportunity as well. But just, you know, like I said, just being grateful, being thankful for, what you've been given and how hard you've worked and where it's taken you and whatnot has been I don't know, it's just kind of it's fun when you sit back and think about it. So,
Sure, certainly surreal. I mean, and then again, like you said, being in this moment where you could get drafted. I mean, it's a good possibility. So let's go back. I want to talk about some of those things that you have been able to do. Obviously, since you finished up your playing there for the Gophers. Let's talk about the combine just in general. How was that whole process for you?
yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we traveled and we show up. First thing they do is they hand you the bag of goodies, right? And they hand it to me, and I look on the bag, and it's kind of funny. This is what was going through my head. I look and see there's number O line 1 on there, and I'm like, oh, that's sick, like O line 1. And then I thought, I was like, I'm going first for everything. So I'm like, ooh, stress. But I was also like, yeah, it's fun. So like I said, just took a deep breath and went out there, played ball, be athletic, do what you've been training to do. Honestly, all my numbers really exceeded expectations, and I really had a good day out there, and I thought I showed a lot of teams that I'm athletic enough to play wherever they put me, and they already know I'm smart enough to play wherever they put me. So I definitely help my case, that's for sure.
So O line one, you heard it here, folks. He's O line one, so he's got to be the first to go.
I,
Um, but hey, man, I mean, obviously a lot of pressure going out there, at the combine. But I mean, it kind of comes with the territory having the last name begin with A. So you imagine
yeah.
how I feel, where like my name is like at the end of the alphabet. So like for the
Mhm.
longest time, like I had to wait my turn, which kind of has its pros and cons. I ain't gonna lie. But I
Mhm.
think it's probably the same in your case as well. Um, so yeah, you were able to go out there at the combine and do your thing there. Kind of backtracking a little bit because you did also participate in the EastWest Shrine Bowl. So
Mhm.
talk about that, man. You kind of playing up against like some of the best talent in this All Star game. I mean, how did that work out for you overall?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun going out there and learning from some NFL coaches. We had the Colts staff on our team, and really just learning the NFL offense and being able to connect those things from what we did in college to NFL and whatnot. And I was dealing with a little tweaked hammy at the time, so I didn't actually like play do live reps, but I did individual work as well. So I got to do the drills during practice and whatnot, and really work out with them there, both mentally and support my teammates as well. So I mean, it was all in all, and doing all the interviews too. I mean, it was awesome. All in all, it was just a really fun experience. It was out in Vegas, and it was just cool to be out there. And it was like you said, really surreal just to have that.
So, I mean, like you said, I mean, maybe not able to participate as much as you would like
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
but I know that when your pro day came around, you did a really good job. I mean, at least I feel. I mean, I was looking at some of your numbers, and I thought that they were, kind of nice. Again, being able, again, for a guy like, that's your size. I mean, you definitely want to, see you move and get after it, and get to your spot and get your block and all of that. So. Those pro day numbers, which one do you think you're most proud of?
Uh, Most of them, honestly. The 5-1 5-1 40 was one of the faster faster times for guards all time. The 8:10 broad, that was a PR for me. I went out there and blew my previous PR out of the water and did that in front of all the scouts and whatnot. The 30.5-inch vertical was top 5 at the combine. What else did I do? And after doing all those drills and the O-line drills, we went out there and we ran the L cone and the shuttle as well. And I got average to above average times on those. And I just think after that long day, I was pretty proud. And I really didn't I did the O-line drills at pro day again then. Yeah. So it was, I mean, all in all a good 2 weeks for me.
So I mean, definitely trained yourself up for all these things. Like, were you training with a particular coach or at a facility? Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
who are you with? You want to share that?
Yeah, sure. I was at Exos in Phoenix with Coach Nicholas Hill and John Barlow. Barlow actually just left there. He's going back up, I think, to British Columbia to start his own gym. But those guys were amazing. Some of the best coaches I've ever had. And shout out to their nutritionist as well, Araya. She got us right. And if you followed the plan, then I think I cut like 5% body fat in the month and a half I was there. So,
Sweet.
yeah, it was awesome and just altogether a great experience. And it was funny because every morning we'd have the COVID checklist to sign in, and we'd have to put down the dates and they'd be like, yeah, January 15th. And I look outside, it's like 70 degrees out. And I'm like, this is not January. I'm like, I'm from Minnesota. January is supposed to be -20.
Yeah, for real. Well, I mean, obviously, even in Minnesota, like right now, I mean, I don't know how it is, right, right now, but I mean, it could be snowing, and obviously
Yeah.
we're sitting
Yeah.
here in spring, and I'm in an area where it's like 80 degrees outside, so I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. But
Yeah.
obviously, a lot going on right now, a lot of great memories. What's going to be that lasting impression of you in your time there at Minnesota? Like, is there maybe a game or a moment, a play that comes to mind?
Yeah. There's two games that really stick out in my mind is the Penn State game in 2019 and then the Wisconsin game here in well, actually three games. Wisconsin 2018, Penn State 2019, and Wisconsin 2021 really stick out. The first one sticks out because Wisconsin 2018, it was the first time we won the Axe in like 15 years, and we did it at Camp Randall as well. And the O line finished out that game with an 11-minute scoring drive, I want to say, where we just ran the clock down and really just finished the game with the ball in our hands. And then Penn State 2019, two undefeated teams, 8-0, 8-0. I think they were ranked number 4 in the country. We were like number 15 or something like that. And we we were able to beat them. We were playing Micah Parsons at the time. And I remember we threw a tunnel screen to one of our receivers. And as the backside guard, my job was to chase down the linebacker, right, and really create the tunnel, cut it off. And he got out in front of me, but I always remember in the back of my head, Coach Callahan saying, if he gets in front of you, don't block in the back, but run his hip or whatever. Just kind of like, press his hip a little bit so he gets
Right.
out of balance. And I did that, and we ended up scoring on that play, like a 30-yard tunnel screen. And I was like, it was funny. And then we ran it again next time, and Micah kind of danced around, and it was funny. It's like, not this time, man, not this time. And I was like, it's like, all right. So then I saw him get drafted in the first round and have the year he had, and I'm like, that's funny. He was definitely a lot of fun to play against. And then Wisconsin this last year, first time beating him at home, and I don't know how long, and really just bringing the axe home after 2 years was amazing, and it definitely the best way to end a career at home. So.
Awesome. I mean, a lot of great things that you were able to share there. I do know that, I mean, even having that one moment against Micah Parsons, is probably gonna help you out, man. Like, 'cause I mean, obviously he came out and did a fantastic job, defensive rookie of the year, all these accolades and everything. I mean, I really wanted him on my favorite team, but I mean, he ended up going
Mhm.
someplace else, which is kind of how it is. I mean, he's a great player and all, but I mean, being able to at least make that guy think a little bit because you got him on that one play and making him think. I mean, I think that's really going to help you. I mean, I do think that I mean, again, I mean, we're looking at a guy who may hear his name called on draft day, and that's very exciting. But I do want to take a moment. I want to step aside this football thing. I want to get to know who Blaise is a little bit. So, talk to me a little bit about yourself. Anything that you want to share, hobbies, interests, passions, anything in your personal life that you want to share. So, go ahead and give me something.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Well, I grew up playing all sports, so I like a student of the game. Really, I love basketball, baseball, even hockey. Now, I wish I learned how to skate as a kid and play hockey because I love watching the Wild. They're doing pretty well right now. Um, and then also like besides that, my mom was a valedictorian, so she drilled like academic excellence into us. So I that's where it's kind of funny the actuarial science came from because she asked me when I was in like eighth grade, like, what do I want to do? And I'm like, well, I love math and I love business. So like she told me to be an actuary, and ever since eighth grade, I was planning on being an actuary, but we're gonna have to put that off for a bit now. So yeah, just really love playing sports, love watching sports, love being around it, and kind of nerd besides that. So
Hey, being a nerd's not that bad. It's
yeah,
it could certainly be rewarding. At least per my notes, I have that you were I want to say like academic all conference, academic all American.
oh,
Having a lot of great accolades in that regard.
yeah.
So,
I was
what do you
doing,
think was like your most difficult class there at
yeah.
Minnesota?
All right, yeah. It was three-time academic All-American, and two of them were first team. I think I'm the only football player to ever do that here, and I think the second athlete to ever do that at Minnesota. But
Awesome.
my hardest class was I think it was applied linear algebra, which linear algebra is not too bad. It's a bunch of matrices, and you're kind of solving system equations with a matrix. Not like the movie, but uh, but yeah, you're solving like systems of equations. So applied, you start thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be word problems. Like that's easy. No, no, you get talking about vector spaces and null sets and set theory and everything. And when they first threw me into that class, I sat there for a month not knowing what a set was. Like, okay, and like for most people who don't know what a set is, think back to like second grade when you draw up a Venn diagram and you're just like, hey, this is this, this is like the intersection of both, right? And that's like still to this day, I think of sets, I think of Venn diagram. and I'm
Whatever visual helps. I mean, that's
yeah, yeah,
it's fine. So, you're telling me you're from Marshall, Minnesota. So, I don't know too much about Marshall, Minnesota. So, tell me something about your hometown. Like, if I were to come visit, what would we have to do?
yeah. So it's in Southwest Minnesota, kind of rural, biggest town, city, whatever you want to call it, and probably I don't know, 100 miles. I want to say until you get to Sioux Falls or Wilmer, whichever one's closer. But you get there. Definitely the sports atmosphere in the town is amazing. The community members are awesome in supporting that, whether they have a kid on the team or not. Like just going to like a high school football game or a high school basketball game or even volleyball. My sister actually, she just won a state tournament in volleyball last year. So I mean, the
Nice.
volleyball team's like one of the pride of the town as well, and they continue to pump out good talent on the football field. We just had a guy go to Iowa State, an offensive lineman, Dalen Hassert, and but yeah, definitely hit up a sports game or something, and There's also really good places to eat. The pub is amazing. They have paninos, not a panini, which is a sandwich, but it's like a wrap kind of. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't really seen that anywhere else besides there. So I mean, it's really good. Definitely get that every time I'm home. But yeah, I mean, just overall, pretty fun, small town America.
Awesome. Nice to hear you share about your hometown. Obviously, a lot of great things happening in the field of sports there, and even with your family, which I think is kind of neat. Um,
Mhm.
Blaise, kind of wanted just to kind of wrap up our interview time a little bit. I mean, we've been at this now for a while. Very last thing that I really just want to hit on is the obvious, and that is that this draft is gonna be here before we know it. I mean, I know that there are some scouts that again may want to draft you and may actually be watching this video. So I want you to address them right now and tell them why they need to draft you, man, and what kind of player they'd be getting if they took a chance on you with their pick. So go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
Yeah, yeah, sure thing. I wholeheartedly think I'm one of the most versatile and intelligent offensive linemen in this class, and I'm physical. I've played all over the place. I played in the Big Ten for 4 years, and most scouts ask me where I want to play, where I'm most comfortable, and I tell them I'll play wherever the hell you put me. Sorry about my language, but I mean honestly, like that's how it is, and I'm really looking forward to work and getting after it. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, a guy that I mean, I feel is probably going to hear his name called. I mean, again, like you had mentioned. I mean, versatility is key sometimes. I mean, at the very least, it gives you more opportunities to get on the field. And for a guy of your size, your athleticism, your level of experience, your intelligence of the game, and just kind of your overall experience. I mean, like you said, I mean. Being able to not just compete in the Big Ten, but really excel and win a lot of great games against some of the best competition that there is in college football. So I know that people have watched you and really expect you to go on and be a part of an NFL team this upcoming season. So, Blaise, I wish you best of luck in this process. I know it's a little nerve wracking at times, but I wish you best of luck this draft. All right.
Thank you, appreciate it, Jimmy.
Sure, no problem. Once again, Blaise Andries, offensive lineman, Minnesota. Definitely check him out.